folks, my name's Chef Cicely and thank you for joining me here at the Divine Cafe at the Springs Preserve. We're keeping things fresh in the kitchen today with fresh herbs. And fresh herbs in Las Vegas are a wonderful thing to grow, particularly like with this basil plant, provided that they can get ample light, not too much light, and also a good amount of moisture, and are situated in a way that they can get good fast draining soil so that they're not overwatered. So what I'm going to do today is one of my favorite things to do with fresh herbs, and that's to wake up different dishes. So to start, I'm going to grab a pastry paper and I'm simply going to roll it out. This is a pre-formed one for convenience. I'm going to take a fork and I'm going to do what's called scoring the edges. This one's already rolled pretty thin, so I'm not too concerned with rolling it out much further. Rotate it around there. A little additional score as a guide for how I want this pastry to puff up. I'm going to put it in the oven for at 350 degrees for 10 minutes or so. Then I'm going to put an egg wash on it, and while it's baking, I'm going to continue with the rest of my toppings. Now for this pastry paper, I'm going to take some carrots, or I could really use any harvest vegetable that I've got around. Brussels sprouts, zucchinis, I could use onions, I can use mushrooms, eggplant, squash, spinach. The list is really quite endless. A light peel on these carrots so that their brightness shows through and I don't have any of the sort of dark dinginess of what the outside of the carrot is. Because remember, we also eat with our eyes, so we want to make sure that everything looks pretty too. So a simple slice of all these carrots. And then these carrots are going to get sauteed lightly with butter, a little bit of salt, and some pepper. Step 3 is a little bit of ricotta cheese. Into this ricotta, I'm going to crack an egg, light amount of seasoning with some pepper, with some salt. Whisk this up. All right, we've got some really great building blocks here with ricotta, with carrots, and then I'm going to pick the herbs that I would like to put onto my tart when it's complete. I'm going to go for chives, some parsley, and some basil. Now, because I'm using fine herbs for this, I can chop up the whole thing. I can eat the stems. I can use the basil stem for a little bit more crunch in what is otherwise a savory tart. Any parts that are a little too much, simply pull those out. And here I have a carrot tart that I had already put together. So on here I have my pastry paper, edges scored, baked it, put on an egg wash, put on ricotta cheese, topped it with my sauteed carrots, threw it in the oven for another 10 minutes, and then I'm simply going to top it with all of my fresh herbs. And again, a rough chop so I can see the shape. I can also see which herb I'm about to get a beautiful bite of. Now this sort of creation can be done in a variety of different ways. Same steps, just different ingredients. So I can also build my tart using fresh herbs and a little bit of vanilla. I'm going to mix that in, same way that I did with the ricotta and with the egg. But I've got mascarpone cheese here, so I'm definitely going for something a little sweet on this one. For my sweet tart, I've got peaches. I could also use strawberries. I could use oranges. I could use blueberries. Any fruit that I want to try and any fruit that I want to complement. Now I'm using fresh herbs again, and I'm using the more delicate ones, so I can chop them up or I can leave them whole. And so now I have my sweet tart, and I also have my savory tart. And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you for joining me, Chef Cicely, here at the Divine Cafe at the Springs Preserve. We hope to see you here.